Hello, my name is Brianna. I'm an artist who works at Bookshark, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys an art lesson from our Artistic Pursuits book. This is going to be the first Artistic Pursuits book, book one, and today we're going to be learning a lesson called Artisane Form. This is lesson 16 in the book. If you have it, you won't need to have the book for this demonstration that we're going to do today. So the first thing that we need to do is to grab our supplies for what we're going to do today. If you don't have them already, you are going to need to get one piece of card construction paper. I have two because one of them I'm going to do an example with. So you can also grab two if you want to do a small work along with me. Then you're also going to need a pair of scissors because we're going to be doing some cutting. Snip. And then you're going to need a glue stick or glue. I don't have a glue stick at home, so I'm going to be using white glue that's like an Elmer's glue. And then you're going to need some colored pencils to do some coloring that we're going to be doing on our form. And then the one other thing you need is going to be a pen, which I have here. Now, it doesn't matter if the pen can actually draw or not. In fact, it might be better if your pen doesn't draw. Because we're just going to use it to make a line that we're going to fold. So those are the things that you need. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So grab those supplies, come on in, and we're going to get started today. So, while you're getting your supplies, I'm going to explain what we're learning today with art. So, when you go through Artistic Pursuits books, you learn how different artists relate to art in general. Artists use shape, they use color, they use texture, they use all of these different things to create a piece of art that you see and experience. Now, today's lesson is that artists use form. Now, form is something that has a three-dimensional space, meaning it kind of exists in a place where you can touch it and you can feel it. Unlike paintings or drawings that go up on a wall, those are flat and you don't really see them. But form is like this little shark figurine I have. So this is a hammerhead shark glass sculpture I have, and it uses form in its to make what it is. Now, an artist made this, and I'm going to bring it here, and the artist made it so that it has a long, swishy body like sharks do. It has a shark fin on top, and every time you turn it to a different direction, you can see a different part of the shark that they've made. You can see it has a white underbelly, just like sharks do. Hammerhead sharks have eyes that see out the side, so we have our eyes here. We have our tail. And if you look, it's going to look different from one angle. Then if you turn it around, it's going to look different from another angle. If you take a piece of art, let's see. I have a piece of art here. If you take a piece of art and you hold it to yourself and you turn it around, it'll look like a piece of paper because sometimes drawings are paper that you can shift one way or another. Now, form is different because no matter where you look, it's going to be different each way you look at it. Now, sometimes you take a form that normally has one type of form and you turn it into something else. This is one of my pencil holders, and in it, it's made out of a little pot. And the pot looks like a pot, right? That's how a normal pot looks and feels. But sometimes you could take the pot and there is a certain type of artist called a potter. And a potter takes clay and they make pots and shapes. But in it, they can use form to make a different shape. In this form, in this pot that I have for one of my plants, it looks like a little creature. Do you know what type of creature this is? I'll move away this little strand. It looks like an owl. You can tell it looks like an owl. If you didn't know what an owl looks like, you could probably tell that it looks like a type of bird. What are some things that look very owl-like on this pot? Well, we have two very round eyes here and here. I'm a little bit backwards. And then we have a beak that comes out, and you can see that the beak comes out of the pots. And then we also have some feathers on the front, just the same as an owl does. But on the side, the feathers look different. Now, these aren't real feathers because it's a pot, but the pot looks like an owl. And then every way you turn it, you can see a different texture coming through because of the form that it's being used to make. We're using form like a triangle that comes out into a space to make it look like an owl. Now, another way to think about this is you take your pencil and let's draw some shapes on the spare piece of paper we have. We can draw a triangle, a square, and a circle. Now, these in and of itself are shapes that are on a piece of paper, but they're just on a piece of paper. They don't do anything. If you were to take a circle, we could probably make a form just with this spare piece of paper. We'll take it and roll it into a tube. You guys probably all know how to do this. And the tube has a long shape here, but if I put it up to my eye, you can see there's a circle here, but it comes out into a three-dimensional space, and I can squish it and make it into different shapes. Let me see if I can get it to be a triangle. Does that look like a triangle? So today, we're going to use form to create a cat. I've already made it, and this is a cat that I have made and I have put together, and I'm going to show you guys how to make this cat on your own. And you can see here on my camera, not very well, but he kind of stands up on his own. And if you bring it over here, he has a face and a tail and a body. And we're going to learn how to make it together. So I hope you guys are ready to do this. So the first step is you take your piece of paper that you didn't draw on, if you drew on one. And what we're going to do is we're going to get it ready to be made into a cat. So we are going to take it and fold it in half. Now, if you're a dog person and you'd rather make this a dog, you are more than welcome to. Just think about when I tell you to make a thing that is going to look like a cat, how would that look if it's a dog? So we're going to take these lines and line it up edge to edge and then fold it in half. The reason we fold it in half is we're making a guide for us to cut the paper in half. So once we folded it this way, we are going to take it out, unfold it, and you have a nice line to cut on. So we're going to cut it right down the middle. Just like that. Now we've taken one piece of paper and we've turned it into two pieces of paper. This is a little bit more purple on my camera here than on this camera, but we're going to go ahead and go through it. Now, the second thing we want to do is we're going to take one piece of paper and we're going to set it aside to be the head and tail of our cat. Now, like I said, you can make a dog, you can make any animal you want. You just have to think about how you are going to change what I do to make it look more like another animal. That's a little bit of being creative, is like when you're an artist and you see someone else do something and you're like, hey, that's really cool, but I wonder if I could do it different to make a different product. You can do that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the body of the animal. For me, it's going to be a cat. I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to fold it in half again. Now this time we're not going to cut it. So we take it and we fold it. And now we're going to kind of get ready for it to be a creature of some sort. Now, I'm going to take some colored pencils. Now, any color pencil will color on construction paper. So I'm going to kind of be a little bit creative here, and I think I'm going to take some pink pencils, and I'm going to draw some stripes on here. The first thing, before I draw stripes though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create kind of the outline for our cat. So if you see here on this cat, you can see that I've created a U shape here. So we're going to take this and make sure that the folded side is facing you, and you're going to draw a big U on the edge of the paper. So we're going to start here and draw it around so it makes a U. Just like that. So now that it's made a U, what we're going to do next is we're going to cut this out, and then we're going to draw on the body of our cat. What type of things do cats have on their bodies? They have fur, and sometimes the fur has spots, and sometimes the fur has stripes. And we're going to make sure that we go ahead and draw that on. Now, set your scraps aside here because we're going to use those later on. So don't throw them away. And now each one of these is going to be 4 legs. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to draw, and you have to make sure you draw on both sides what it's going to look like. So I'm going to draw some stripes. This is going to be like a magical cat. So I'm going to draw some like pink stripes. Because cats aren't pink and purple. But my cat is, because I'm using my imagination. To draw stripes, you can just draw a squiggly line like this. And then color it in. And then we're going to draw another stripe here. I wonder what type of things you guys are drawing on yours. If you want to, you guys can tell us in the comments what type of pattern you're making on your animal. Go ahead and color that in. And then I'm going to take a different color pink. And if you don't want to draw stripes and you don't want to draw spots, you can draw like a fur texture by just drawing some lines next to each other. And it looks like it's kind of hard to see on here. But you can draw some texture on there. I'm going to use a darker pencil to kind of draw the texture because that one was hard to see. See, there it goes. You can draw this to kind of make like a fur pattern. Because cats have fur. And that kind of looks a little bit, when you draw it all out, like fur. Another way you could draw fur is to draw like a little squiggly line, like that. I'm going to make this pattern go all the way up. And then go over to the other side and draw it. This is really a time to let your imagination run wild. If you wanted to, you could probably make like a unicorn too if you wanted. How would we make this into a unicorn? Because the body is going to be the same on lots of animals. It'll just change how you do the head. Now that we've done one side, we have to flip it over and do it on the other side again. So what you can do is unfold it to make sure you have the stripes line up. These stripes kind of look like mustaches when you draw them out. All right. They're all kind of squiggly. And then we can go ahead and draw some fur here like I am. This is like a magical kitten, rainbow kitten. I like using my imagination to make things that might not really exist in the world, but are really fun or silly. Do you guys like doing that too? Alright. I'm going to keep going until I'm all done. We'll give you guys about 1 more minute to finish drawing your designs, and then we're going to move on to the next part. Alright, I've all finished this. I'm going to fold it back together again because the next thing I'm going to do is going to be a little bit tricky, but I have faith you guys can do it. So here we go. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to make 2 cuts, and I'm going to draw where you should make them. You're going to make one here, about a 1/2 inch, or put your finger down and draw on the other side of your finger. And I'll do that on this side as well. Draw on the other side of your finger. And those are going to be the cut lines for you. You don't want to go too far in. You just want to do like a fingernail's width down. And then I'm going to take our scissors and I'm going to cut 1. And I'm going to cut 2. So put your finger down, draw a line, then put your other finger down and draw a line, and then you're going to cut both of those spots. Now the next thing we're going to do is to make our cat stand. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw a light line here and here down the middle. You don't have to draw a line. I am doing it because it helps me. And then you're going to take your ballpoint pen and very carefully, you're going to press down real firm. Don't press down too hard that you rip the paper. Just press down really firm and make a line. And then you go down to the back side and you're going to press down real firm and make a line again. Then what we're going to do is we're going to unfold the cat. So when you get these legs, now that you've made these lines, you can fold them in half, but don't fold all the way up. Just fold them so that they make a little bit of a triangle shape here. And we're going to do that on all 4 legs. So triangle shape, and then you're going to fold carefully, make another triangle shape, and then go to the other side. And if you pressed firm enough, you should be able to make a triangle shape here very easily, and here very easily. And then your thing's going to kind of start to stand, but it's not going to want to stand quite yet. So while you finish that up, what we're going to do is we're going to make a way for our animal to stand. We're going to want something that is as long as this. I'm actually just going to use the circle in the middle here, and I'm going to cut a nice thick strip here, just about this big. And this is where the glue comes in handy. So you're going to take it, and on each side you're going to put down some glue. If you're using white glue like I am, you're going to want to just do a little bit on each side. just like that. And then you're going to take one edge and you're going to put it down on the edge with the glue on and press down real firm. And then you're going to take, this is the tricky part, you're going to take it and bring it up. Like that, and then bend this over so that it comes to the other side. And you can press down, and I like to press down and count to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And make sure you don't fold this part here. But if you did fold it, you can unfold it just by pressing down. Now, the glue's still drying, but we should be able to prop up our body so that it stands on its own. That's pretty cool. Now, it should look like this, but that's just the body of a cat. It's not actually a cat yet. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our second piece of paper. We'll set the body to the side for right now. And you're going to cut an tail out. So you're going to take this part down here and cut it all the way down so you have a nice long strip. And then you think about, how does a cat tail look? You can make a puffed up tail like I did here. Some cats have puffy tails. Or you can make like a windy tail, which is what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to draw a curve here. And a curve here. And this is going to be the part that is going to go to attach to the cat. So I don't want to color in that part. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to go ahead and cut out the shape I just made. Now, if you want to make a puffy tail like I did the first time, what you'll do is you'll take your square and you'll just cut off, or your rectangle, it's not a square. You'll cut the sides so that they're nice and rounded. So you can make a wavy tail like this, or I'm going to use the white paper that we made before, and I'm going to cut out a strip from there to show you another type of tail you can make. So you can take this and you can do on the edge here and then draw another edge, or not draw, cut another edge, so that you're just cutting everything off so that it's just kind of an oval like this, and that will be a puffy tail in contrast to my swishy tail. Alright, and then with the remaining paper that you have here, you're going to take it and you're going to fold it in half again. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to make a head. So where the fold is going to be the top of the cat. So it's kind of a triangle now, but we need to make it into a round head. So I'm going to draw a curve here and a curve here to be my cat head. That curves there. And that curves there. And we have a little bit of a head. Now, this is the trickiest part for making a cat. You should draw a line here that goes down like a triangle, and here. Now, if you were drawing a dog, you could just make a different type of head there, like a different type of ear shape, because this is going to become our cat's ears. So we're going to cut, but don't cut all the way through, just cut right where the line is. So you come on here, go in between, so don't go underneath, go in between the papers, and you're going to cut a triangle out. And this is the head of our cat. So you guys can see it kind of looks like a cat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to draw a face on our cat, and we're going to draw the cat tail. So I'm going to go ahead, I think I want my cat's eyes to be kind of white. So I'm going to draw an oval here, one oval, and another oval or circle to be the eyes. You can make the eyes any shape you want, but most people have circle eyes. And I'm going to color it in. And then I'm going to give it a pink nose. And I feel like cats have triangle noses. So I'm just going to make it a triangle. And I'm going to draw the pupils to be pink as well. So cats have like pupils that are just like that. You can draw it any color you want. And then because it's my cat's head, I'm going to draw some triangles up here to be like the stripes on the cat. And I'm going to color those in. And you can also give your cat a little smile. Cats smile by making like a little bumpity bump shape. Now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and I'm gonna color in some fur in the ears. I'm just gonna use white to color in some fur here. Like draw a triangle, because cats have a lighter color inside their ears. And the great thing about colored pencils is if you use a white colored pencil on construction paper, it comes out really well. Now, the last part of our face that we need to do is we need to give cat the whiskers of a cat. So we're going to take this other piece that we haven't done anything with, and we're going to go ahead and cut some whiskers out of it. I'm going to cut off the curved part of the end because we don't really need those. And I'm going to cut like triangle shapes. So there's one. And now that this is at an edge, I'm going to cut another triangle, two. And I'm going to try to make them skinny just like a whisker would be. But you can make them rectangles if you want. I cut one of them too big, I think. So you want 3 for each side. I cut too many. I got a little carried away with my cutting. That happens. And then you're going to want to take your glue stick or your glue bottle and just do a dot of glue on the edge of the whisker, and you're going to want to put it here where like cats have whiskers, like that. So you're going to do that for 3 whiskers on each side. So glue, and then here. You could, if you have spare pieces of paper, you can make your whiskers a different color. And then that. We have one whisker here. This one's like a tiny whisker, like really small. If you have a cat, can you count how many whiskers your cat has sometime today? I have a cat, and I think she has like a lot of whiskers. But 3 on each side is normally how people draw cats. All right. So we have our face, we have our tail, and we have our body. And now we need to put them together to make a cat. So, do you remember several minutes ago when I had you guys cut some lines here in the paper? What we're going to do is we're going to put these into the lines. So back here, you see how it cuts here? You're going to take the tail and you're going to wedge it in. If you're having trouble putting it in like this, you can put the paper apart and then put it on one side and then bring it back and then spread it out. Whoops, my cat's falling. So you can see that. And then we do that on the other side. But this time you can put the whole cat head like that, but you can also just put the back half of it so that the cat head comes forward above the neck. Whoops, mine fell over. That happens sometimes. If your cat head's falling over like mine is, and this cat just wants to sit, kind of like a dog, you can make your cut a little bit deeper here. Be very careful because you don't want to cut it all off. There we go. All right. There's my cat. He's looking up at you. All right. Here is the cat that I made with you guys. You can see its stripes and its tail back here. And guess what? It has form. It's not just like a picture on a page. Every angle you turn it at looks different. So, I want to see what you guys made. So, share what you've made. And if you guys have any creative ideas of what name I should name my new cat, let me know. I will see you guys later. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.